Welcome back once again to your YouTube channel ENCG Mate. We have successfully completed the essay Disasters and Disaster Management in India. So we will go for read and respond questions and answers, which will give you more confidence. You can write down more points and you can be the winner of A+. What does the recent World Disaster Report say about disasters? The recent World Disaster Report says that disasters have increased in their number and intensity. The intensity and number have increased. What are some of the common disasters? So we have to name the common disasters. Some of the common disasters are earthquakes, floods, cyclones, landslides, droughts, accidents, plane crashes, and forest fires. Question number 3. What is true about both the developed and developing countries? The fact that disasters like earthquakes, floods, cyclones, landslides, droughts, accidents, plane crashes, and forest fires have increased in their number and intensity is true about both developed and developing countries. So learners, please try to understand earthquakes, tremors, floods, water, cyclones, winds, taute, you have come across landslide strokes. Question number 4. What is the relationship between human development and disaster preparedness? There is a direct correlation between human development and better preparedness to manage disasters. The less developed countries are more prone to suffer damages caused by disasters. You see, while I was teaching the essay, I have underlined the importance of the connection between human development and better preparedness to manage disasters. But the less developed countries are more prone to suffer damages caused by disasters. That is all. Question number 5. Which is the deadliest disaster? So we know that from the class itself we have come to know the deadliest disaster is drought. It accounts for 48% of deaths due to natural disasters. What makes India more vulnerable to disasters? Question number 6. It's a geographical location and geological formation. That's a very two important points. Geographical location and geological formation make India more vulnerable to disasters. Its long coastline, snow-covered peaks, and high mountain ranges, and the perennial rivers of the north region combine to make the problems worse. India has only 2% of the total geographical area, but it supports 18% of the total population. So, there is a great pressure on the natural resources. This directly or indirectly leads to disasters, like floods, droughts, landslides, and earthquakes. Question number 7. What causes tremendous pressure on the natural resources in India? India has only 2% of the total geographical area, but it supports 18% of the total population. So land is scarce, population is very high. This causes a tremendous pressure on the natural resources. So human beings have started exploiting the natural resources, making the habitats and huge constructions. Question number 8. Which is a relatively new natural disaster in India? Tsunami is a relatively new natural disaster in India. Due to the lack of an adequate warning system, the tsunami of 2004 destroyed a large portion of the coastal regions of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, and also the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It killed many people and destroyed properties worth many crores. Okay, that is what here we have come across the experience of a tsunami which occurred in the year 2004. So, okay, that was a very pathetic and deplorable condition of the coastal belt, and human lives have been claimed enormously. Question number 9. Which is the man-made disaster that India witnessed in the last century? The man-made disaster that India witnessed in the last century is the Bhopal gas tragedy. Union Carbide company's poisonous gas leaking. Okay, and which was a very great, that means most disastrous man-made disaster. So question number 10. Name some of the major natural disasters faced by India during this century. Let us see year-wise survey. Some of the major natural disasters faced by India during this century are the Gujarat earthquakes 2001, the Mumbai Gujarat floods, complete area underwater 2005, the tsunami 2004, previous answer we discussed, the Uttarakhand, the flash floods, and the hurricane filing in coastal Orissa and Andhra Pradesh in the year 2030. Question 11. Which are the lifeline support systems that get damaged in disasters? So, lifeline support system that get damaged in disasters. The lifeline support systems that get damaged in disasters are communication, no communication, power supply, electricity, and water supply system. Drainages get damaged or should be cut down. Drainages get damaged. Healthcare and hospitals come under severe stress. Commercial and economic activities are badly affected. Life then almost comes to a standstill. Life is completely frozen, paralyzed, no movement. These are the life support system that get damaged in disaster. Question number 12. Which is the man-made disaster mentioned here? Which section of the society is most affected by disasters? Why? The man-made disaster mentioned here is riots, clash between different sections of people, different regions of people, different states of people. The most affected are the poor sections of the society. It is so because they have to work daily to earn their livelihood. That is. Question number 13. What are the major limitations in constructing safe and secure buildings? The major limitations in constructing safe and secure buildings are: people don't follow the regulations or rules or norms laid down for ensuring safety and security. In developing countries, only 30% of the buildings are constructed in accordance with the regulations or rules or norms laid down by authority. The lack of a master plan, another reason. There is no master plan, that is lack of, absence of a master plan, and the inferior quality. Now, opposite of inferior is superior quality. Inferior quality of materials used for construction are also major limitations in constructing safe and secure buildings. Question number 14. What measures needed to be taken to ensure the safety and security of the buildings? To ensure the safety and security of the buildings, both the private and public buildings should be constructed according to the guidelines prescribed by law. We must follow certain rules prescribed by law, and superior kind of construction materials should be used, and also there should be a master plan. Construction should be according to the master plan approved by the authorities. Good quality materials should be used for construction, that is superior quality materials, first quality materials. Question number 15. What is the requirement in the areas vulnerable to earthquakes in order to reduce damage and death? In areas vulnerable, more prone to earthquakes, the existing buildings should be technically assessed, measured, valued, and owners should be informed about the weaknesses in their construction. It is estimated, calculated that nearly 1 million buildings are constructed in India each year, and an equal number of them, that means 1 million buildings, the same number of these buildings are gets damaged as a result of disasters. To reduce, to stop, to reduce or to stop the damage to buildings, a monitoring mechanism, a measuring mechanism, a calculating mechanism should be set up. It should work in proper coordination with the concerned authorities to ensure. To ensure means make sure the fulfillment, the satisfaction of building codes, or obeying the building codes or norms or laws. Question number 16. What is the structure of the state and central level committees of disaster management? So private level and the government level. At the state level, there is a state level disaster management committee. There is THERE. THERE. At the state level, there is a state level disaster management. THERE. There is a state level disaster, THERE. There is a state level disaster management committee consisting of the senior secretaries of various departments and the representatives of NGOs, non-governmental organizations. It is there in your textbook. At the national level, there is a crisis management committee, central government level, national level. There is a crisis management committee headed by the cabinet secretary and the secretaries from the major departments of the government. So this should be by hearted very clearly. How does the central government coordinate disaster management activities in India? Central government. The central government with the proper coordination with the various ministries give the necessary support to the states. This includes defense services like airdropping, rescuing, searching, transport of relief goods, etc., and availability of railway and ferry services, health personnel, and medical support. These are all the things. Question number 18. What are the special requirements of the rescue team according to the author? Special requirements, needs of the rescue team. The rescue team should have special skills, talents, and attitudes, training in dealing with the disasters. They need to be well equipped, efficient apparatus, many things, and should have the latest technologies. Equipments should be there. Question number 19. What is the purpose of disaster management? Well, the purpose of disaster management. The purpose of disaster management is to reduce the destructive impact of disasters. It is not possible to prevent or avert to change many of these disasters. But with the so disasters are natural or man-made, it will surely happen. We cannot stop them, we cannot change them. But with the proper disaster management, we can definitely, surely reduce. Reduce means make the number very less. That means reduce the deaths and damages caused by these disasters, by these disasters. Activity 1, not making. You have read the essay Disasters and Disaster Management in India. Given below is an outline of the notes on this essay. Read the essay carefully again and complete the notes. For example, in your textbook, it is given over there activity 1. Activity 1, not making. Some columns are just filled and many columns or lines are given not complete. Okay, so this with your textbook you take a systematic note making. Disasters and disaster management in India. So point 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. Disasters, the global scenario. 1.1, a challenge for all humanity, of course. So we have to brave, all the humanity have to brave these challenges. Increase in frequency and intensity, that is the report says. The world becoming more prone to vulnerable to disasters. Developed and developing countries are affected. Floods, more common, India, China, Bangladesh, most affected due to floods. Drought, deadliest of the disasters, 40% of all deaths and disasters. So this is all. Then we will pass on to 2.1. Disasters Indian context. Highly prone to disasters, reasons for vulnerability, geographical location and geological formation. Repeating these ideas and words are repeating. Learners try to register these words and ideas in your mind. Long coastline, snow-clad peaks, snow-covered peaks, mountains, high mountains, ranges, and perennial rivers. 2.2.3 Overpopulation and inadequacy of natural resources. 2.3 Different kinds of disasters in India, regional, northern region, eastern region, the northeastern region, the western region, the southern region, the Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep and coastal areas. Everything is very clearly printed in your textbook essay. 2.4 Major disasters in this century. We have had that year-wise disasters. Gujarat earthquakes 2001. The Mumbai Gujarat floods 2005. And the tsunami in 2004, the Uttarakhand flash floods, hurricane Philin in coastal Orissa and AP 2013, and Taute reached in Gujarat the coastal line. It touched from the newspaper itself as a count Taute. That also touched the Gujarat land, and it will be going on like this. Okay, and we will pass on to the next points of notes making. The direct and indirect impact of disasters. 3.1 Damage, destruction, death. 3.2 Lifeline support system. Lifeline support system are damaged. We know communication, all these things we have discussed in the read and respond to question answers. Healthcare and hospitals come under stress. They come under stress. Commercial and economic activities are badly affected. Commercial and economic activities are badly affected. Badly affected. 3.5 Poorer section. That means very poor. That is a comparative degree. Poor, poorer, poorest. Very poor sections most affected through these disasters. Then fourth one, risk due to disaster. Need for safer buildings. Cyclones, tsunami, earthquakes, defects in construction of buildings can cause greater destruction. 4.2 Scenario in the developing countries. Only 30% of the buildings are constructed as per regulations we have seen in the essay. Lack of a master plan. Using inferior quality materials. Suggestions for safer infrastructure. And both the private and public buildings to be constructed as per guidelines or rules or norms. Constructions to be adhered to the master plan. Adhered, H-E-R-E-D. Adhered. Here only is there. Learners, please adhered. H-E-R-E-D. Adhered to the master plan. Only good quality materials, superior quality or first quality materials be used for construction. Management in India. Purpose. Not prevention but reduction of impact. Reducing. State government. Role. State level disaster management committee. Structure. Senior secretaries and representatives of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, then central government, state government finished, then central government. Role, crisis management committee, structure, cabinet secretary and secretaries of major departments. Support offered. What are the activities done by these departments, committees? Airdropping, rescuing, searching, transport of relief goods, food and dress and medicines, rail and ferry transportation services, health personnel and medical support, rehabilitation of victims. So we have come across, even Taute also came here. So many houses, especially in coastal belt, have been damaged, and those victims were changed to rehabilitation centers. So those were the victims, rehabilitation of victims. Integral part of disaster management, proper coordination among various departments, rescue teams, additional skills equipped with the latest technology. Now we have to write a precis writing. Precis is pronounced precis writing. We had made a not making. Based on that one third of the text or 1/4 of the text, make it a short. Precis writing means 1/4 of the given text. Make it very short and brief. That is called precis writing. You have read the essay and prepared notes on disasters and disaster management in India. Based on the notes you prepared, write a precis, very short summary on the essay. A precis usually is 1/3 the size of the original text. 1/3 size, that's all. That means out of 100 or 25% space used. So I am reading, you can systematically make a note of all the points you have written in a note making can be used here as well. Disasters have become a big challenge for all humanity. There has been an increase in the frequency and intensity of disasters. It seems that the world is becoming more prone to disasters. Disasters affect both the developed and developing countries. Some of the disasters are floods, windstorms, droughts, and earthquakes. Floods are more common in India, China, and Bangladesh. Drought is the deadliest. Nearly 40% of all deaths and disasters are caused by droughts. Everything is in the not making all the points. India is highly prone to disasters. There are many reasons for this. The geological formation and geographical location, or the geographical location and geological formation, the long coastline, snow-clad peaks, high mountain ranges, perennial rivers, etc. are some of the reasons, some of them. Overpopulation and the inadequacy of natural resources add to these disasters, to these problems, to them problem, to these problems, to them problems, no, to these problems, THESC, to these problems, to these problems. India faces many different kinds of disasters. In all regions, there are problems, some of the major disasters. There are direct and indirect impacts of disasters. Some of the impacts are the damage, destruction, death caused by them. Following the disaster, the lifeline support systems are damaged, healthcare and hospitals come under stress, commercial and economic activities get badly affected, the poorer sections are the most affected. So these points all we have come across in the read and respond questions and in not making also. To reduce the damages caused by disaster, there is a need for safer buildings. Disasters like cyclones, tsunami, earthquakes, etc. can cause greater destruction if there are defects in the construction of buildings. The scenario in the developing countries is pathetic. Only 30% of the buildings are constructed as per regulations. There is a lack of any master plan. PLAN. Not a plan, master plan. 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 Learners, please try to make that correction. Plan. Master plan. And people construct buildings using inferior quality materials. There is a need for safer infrastructure. Both the private and public buildings should be constructed as per the guidelines or rules or norms given by the government. Constructions should obey to the master plan, and only good quality materials should be used for construction purposes. It is true that we can't prevent disasters and we can reduce their impact. For this, the state government and the central government have to work together. At the state level, there has to be a disaster management committee with all the senior secretaries of various departments and representatives of NGOs. At the center, there must be a crisis management committee with the cabinet secretary and the chairman and the secretaries of major departments as members. The center can offer support like airdropping, rescuing the victims, searching the victims, transport of relief goods like food, clothes, medicines. Rail and ferries are transporting the victims of the disasters, health personnel and medical support. The rehabilitation of victims is an integral part of disaster management. There should be proper coordination among various departments. The rescue team should have additional skills training, and they should be equipped with the latest technology and apparatus. If these things are carried out, the impact of the disasters can be reduced and many lives saved. Activity 4, think and respond. What are some of the disasters or natural or man-made and industrial your locality has witnessed in the last 10 years? What were the impact of these disasters on man and nature? My locality is a personal answer. You can just incorporate your personal experiences. One specimen answer is given there. My locality has witnessed two major disasters, both of them. So both spelling BOTH. No E is there. Both of them. Both means both natural. E should be cut down. BOTH only, not BH. BOTH. That's answer. So both of them means both natural and man-made disasters are man-made. One is water pollution. The local farmers in their eager to get bumper harvest used a lot of chemical fertilizers. So the local farmers in their neighborhood, eager to get bumper harvest, more production, used a lot of chemical fertilizers. They are chemical, poisonous, toxic, and later insecticides, killing the insects in the farm on a large scale. To result is that, so there actually Two, E should be cut down. To result is that the water in the area is polluted. The fish in the stream and ponds nearby have died because of the poison from chemical fertilizer and insecticides. Another disaster is the mindless, regardless cutting down of trees and building concrete jungles everywhere. With the high rise buildings around you, very tall buildings, you feel choked, you feel very much exhausted. There is no place for the children to run about and play. Scarcity of land. Every available piece of land is used for various types of construction. In the summer season, the place becomes very hot. All the birds that nestled on the trees around have left the place, which looks barren. Barren means useless land. Is your locality prepared to manage any potential disaster? If not, what precautions can be taken to prevent and manage possible disasters? So these are the personal questions which can be surely expected in your final examinations. My locality is not all prepared to manage any potential danger, disaster. The streets are so narrow in the township that not even a fire truck can enter the place in case of a fire disaster. Unless the municipality should take steps to widen the road so that the victims can be reached in case of a disaster. Question number 3, the author says that disaster management in India is the responsibility of the state and central governments. Do you agree with this view? Do you think that the people of our country have a role in preventing and managing disasters? We cannot agree. It is each and every citizen's responsibility. I don't agree with the view of the author that is repeated 2 times, one that should be cut down. The view of the author that disaster management in India is the responsibility of the state and central governments. I fully agree with the view that the people of our country should have a role in preventing and managing disasters. Preventing natural disasters may not be possible, but we can do many things to reduce the impact of such disasters. Without the people's active cooperation, no scheme of any kind will succeed. Any kind will succeed. What do you think about the measures of rehabilitation? That means shifting victims from one place to another place that are adopted after each disaster. Do you think the measures are sufficient? The measures of rehabilitation that are adopted after each disaster are not good enough. When a disaster happens, the chief ministers and some other ministers run to the spot of disaster. Some half-hearted measures are carried out just to please the people. Often, these measures are just temporary solutions, not permanent solutions. After the tsunami, some houses were constructed to rehabilitate the victims. After 2 seasons of heavy rain, most of the houses became so bad. People could not live there. The measures taken are insufficient. Corruption is the main cause for our troubles. The contractors who make the buildings use defective material, and the buildings they make do not last. We have seen what happens to our roads. There is no determined effort on the part of anybody to make things work properly. Authorities become immune, very neutral to criticism. Now, activity 4, explore the roots of the word. So we have become disaster. Dis plus aster. Disaster and disasters originate from the Greek word astron, which means star. In ancient times, it was believed that stars shaped human destiny. That is all. In our horoscope, we can understand what is your star, and that will control your destiny. Any misfortune or calamity, therefore, happened to someone because the stars were not favorable. The prefix, that means aster. Aster is the main root word. So we prefixed dys, dis. Disaster. This is the prefix. Here means against. Here is a list of words which are derived from the Greek root astron. All these words are related to stars. Find out the meaning of these words. Astronomy. Astronomy. Scientific study of the universe. Astrophysics, the physics of astronomical objects, heavenly bodies. Astrophysics is the physics of astronomical objects. Astronauts. Astronaut is a space traveler. Aster, star-shaped structure in cells. Asterisk, star-shaped symbol. Astrologer, one who studies stars in relation to human behavior. Asteroid, rocky object orbiting the sun, that is so. So try to take systematical and study that one. Activity 5, crossword puzzles. So crossword puzzles, across and down, it is in your textbook given. First one, a violently destructive windstorm occurring means happening over land, characterized by a funnel-shaped cloud extending towards the ground. That is called a twister. 2 is a downward. A high sea wave caused by an earthquake or other disturbances, that is tsunami. Tsunami. Look at the crossword puzzle, 2 number, tsunami T is there. Then third one is across. Vibration on the earth's surface resulting from underground movement, that is earthquake. So third one, across, earthquake, E and U is given there. Try to have, when you get a free time, with this crossword puzzle game, which will improve your efficiency of English language with the interest. Fourth one is down. A mass of snow, ice and rocks falling rapidly down a mountainside. That is fourth one, down. Avalanche, Avalanche, avalanche. Fifth one is across. Molten rock that flows out of an erupting volcano, that one is lava. Sixth one is also across. Widespread scarcity of food due to crop failure, population imbalance, that is famine. The absence of food, famine, absence of food. Then seventh one is down. The luxury ocean liner Titanic hit an iceberg in the Atlantic, that is iceberg. Okay, so seventh one is down. So seventh one is down, ice, I-C-E, iceberg. Eighth one is across, gravitational movement of a mass of rock, earth or debris. That means waste products after the damage, debris. Down a slope is landslide. Eighth, landslide. Ninth one is down. A violent disturbance of the atmosphere with the strong winds and usually rain, thunder, lightning or so, that is a storm. And 10th one is a cross, a rotating column of air whirling in destructive speed is tornado. That is all. And last one, 11th, is also a cross. A tropical storm with the winds that have a speed of 74 miles per hour or more is called a hurricane. Hurricane. So we will go to another project. The author says that of all the disasters, floods are the most common. India, China, and Bangladesh are the most affected by floods. In Kerala also we experience floods during the monsoon. The water levels of rivers rise, flooding cities and towns. What are the reasons for this flooding? There are many reasons for the flooding. We can divide them into two categories. In the first group, we have natural causes like high rainfall, snow melt, relief in low-lying and areas, rivers flow very slowly and so the water volume increases suddenly as coastal flooding because of high tides. In the second group, we have human causes which include deforestation, poor farming, overgrazing, overcultivation, etc., which make the topsoil washed away, soil erosion, poor water management and population pressure. All these factors can be found in India, China, and Bangladesh. Investigate the reasons, that is in the question itself, the last part of the question. Investigate the reasons for flooding in your locality. Write a report of your findings. Make an ICT assisted presentation, some points. The reasons for flooding in my locality are high rainfall, poor farming, poor water management and population pressure. These are the things. And last one is a collection. So about the bravery of the boys, it is given some newspaper cuttings like that. You can just go for reading newspapers, and if you find some which is for the extended development of your English efficiency and proficiency. We will be coming in the next class with the Serang of Ranagachi is another story about braving the hazards, about the epidemic like COVID-19 that happened in a ship. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.